Okay.
How many of you have heard of the American Red Cross? Pretty familiar? You actually know the founder of it? Well, the founder is a woman named Clara Barton, and I'm going to tell you a little about her. Here is a picture of Clara Barton. I can personally say I have never heard of her or even knew she found the Red Cross. But from researching her, I can tell you, you won't be disappointed in the facts I'm going to engage you on. Was Clara Barton an angel of the battlefield, or was she human like us? Clara was both. She was never shy or let anything stand in her way from helping others and doing what she loved. Now I'm going to tell you about that angel of the battlefield and how she became the founder of the Red Cross. Clara Barton was an American humanitarian, as some would call her. Her work helped everyone in times of war and peace. She was born on December 25th, 1821 in North Oxford, Massachusetts. She was the youngest in her family. Her dad was a farmer and her mom manned the household. She first got her skills that would help her on at age 11 by taking care of her sick older brother. She also learned a skill from him that was called carpentry. When she was a teenager, she was a very smart girl, and her mother thought she should put that to use and become a teacher. As young as the age of 15, she started teaching at schools close to home. In 1850, she left for home and headed to Bordenton, New Jersey to teach. There, people were required to pay for schooling, and the good woman Clara was offered to teach with no salary so children could go to school for free. She later on accomplished the first free school in New Jersey, and there she raised the enrollment from only 6 children to almost 600. But when the town officials decided to appoint principal, a man, over her, she resigned. Now, not being a teacher anymore, she wanted to try something new. She worked for the patent office in Washington, D.C. when the Civil War began. She wanted to help the troops. She started collecting things and storing supplies that people gave for free to use for the troops. There in Washington, she also stored food and medical supplies. In 1862, she had to go on places where fighting was taking place. Her courage and concern she had for people made her presence strongly felt wherever she went. She now wanted to begin a project of locating missing soldiers. With Lincoln's approval on this, she traced over 20,000 men. In 1862, she became sick. She traveled to Geneva, Switzerland to get rest and change what she was doing for a little while. There is where she met officials that helped victims of the war. They wanted her to get the U.S. government to agree to the Geneva Convention, which was the International Red Cross. This led medical personnel to be treated as neutral parties who could medicate the sick and wounded. So she then helped get military hospitals together during the times of war. Her first idea was to put needy women to go to France to sew garments for pay. In 1873, she was awarded the Iron Chest of Merit by the German Emperor William I. It was only one of her many honors. Now, with what she accomplished overseas, she traveled back to the United States and stayed in Danville, New York. She contacted the International Red Cross and told them she wanted to lead an American branch of their organization. So at the age of 56, she started yet again another career. In 1881, Clara organized the American Red Cross Legal Corporation. The American Red Cross was started up to help people in need during peace and wartime. She was the president of the corporation. Just only a year later, her efforts paid off, and she brought about the U.S. agreement to the Geneva Convention. But that's not the only thing that was going on in her very busy life. She also became the superintendent of the Women's Reformatory Prison in Sherborn, Massachusetts. But this did not take away from her main cause, the Red Cross. She traveled as a Red Cross worker to help victims of fires in Michigan and earthquake survivors in South Carolina. 5 years along the road, she traveled to Pennsylvania and helped victims there from a flood. After that, she traveled all the way to Russia and to even Turkey to help people in need. Even as late as 1900, she went to Texas to supervise assistance after a tidal wave, not caring of how well she could even travel. Now, in 1900, Congress reincorporated the Red Cross and wanted a review of its funds. This problem became just too much for the old Clara Barton. She couldn't take it anymore, so she decided to resign in 1904. After leaving the Red Cross, Clara Barton remained active, giving speeches and lectures throughout the world. She also wrote a book entitled The Story of My Childhood, which was published in 1907. It was a bestseller at its time. After she was done with book signings and had nothing else to do, she retired at her home in Glen Oco, Maryland, and on April 12, 1912, she passed away. Even though she never married or had any kids, she wasn't disappointed or missed out on those kinds of things. Her own family was the Red Cross and all the victims she helped. Not only was she an angel of the battlefield, but she became an international fame. From reading about her, I have learned so much of what she accomplished and the great, courageous woman she truly was. She was just an all-around, everyday American with a little something special inside her that strived for the accomplishments she is known for today. Thank you.